How you doing? It's Davy Burke and Enda Varley back again to review yesterday's big one, the All-Ireland final. Kerry v Galway, and obviously Kerry got the job done. And Enda, how did you see it?
Probably a relief, man. Although I'm not exactly that fond of Kerry either. What did Gary Neville say on Sky Sports that time? It's like someone coming in, a robber coming in, nicking your wife, Man City and Liverpool at the time. But I looked at it. I thought. Look, it was a great game. I thought in terms of, probably for me, it was probably the game in the championship, and it came in the final. I thought it was better quality than the two semi-finals. The score taken was outrageous. It was just a really tense game in terms of you really saw with Kerry in the first 15 minutes they're very, very nervous, and their execution it was off they had obviously 7 wides in the first half. Galway had only 1, and we're on about Gleeson's kick out and going after it. Like, Kerry had the majority of that possession. They won a lot of that kick out from Gleeson, and they just didn't convert. And I thought probably Kerry were 3 or 4, well, definitely 2 or 3 point better team than Galway in the first half. But obviously the scoreboard didn't show that. And then Jacko, in fairness to him, he wasn't afraid to change it up. It was 2 massive calls at halftime with Gainey and Dave Moore, and it's not by chance he's got the job done 3 times now at this stage. And
4.
Sorry?
4.
Is it 4 times?
Yeah.
Oh, he's sorry. Yeah. As in 4 All-Irelands.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was saying 3 terms, but you're right, 4 All-Irelands.
Sorry.
Yeah. But like, in fairness to them, and the 2 splans came on, and to be fair, I suppose I was mentioning about the squads. Obviously the 2 splans were pushing, like, you wouldn't have brought them to 2 boys on for the sake of it here. They're obviously pushing hard in training, and it was a 50-50 call between the 2 boys. Gainey all year was, he's in and out of form, and Dave obviously was injured at the start, and he was coming in and out of the team. Like, so look at that's my 2 pence. Like, go on. What are you thinking?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the game. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was seriously intriguing. I thought the quality was brilliant. Listened to some people today, I couldn't believe they were talking about poorly about the game and saying it wasn't a great game to watch. I think people are looking for goals, and they're looking for, I'm very interested in tactical setups and transitioning, and how do you get bodies back, and how do you get bodies forward, and how do you shut down Damien Comer? Like, Jason Foley and Tyke Morley done a brilliant job on him. Like, it's a phenomenal job on him. Like, he was. I
don't want to cut across you there, Dave, but the score taken, the point taken was outrageous.
Top quality. Like, it was a joy to be there. Like, honestly, that score Shane Walsh kicked, and I was in the lower Hogan, and he cut back across 2 men, Tom Sullivan, and I can't remember who the man behind him was. Oh God, and just dinks it over the bar. Yeah. And it was glorious to watch. And you know what though, the mad thing was, it was never going anywhere else. Like, everybody knew where it was going, and it was like 2. Do you know what I thought it was kind of like at times? It was like 2 under-14s playing an under-10 game. Like, it was like 2 lads, one lad either end of the field, just saying, I'm better than everyone else out here, I'm going to do my thing here. And then the ball transfers down the other end of the field, and he does the same thing. And I thought it was phenomenal to see 2 boys go at it. Now, there was obviously other people who were brilliant as well, and we get into all that, but I thought I was privileged to see them 2 boys go at that, and in an All-Ireland final, because you need to do it in the final. Let's be honest. You have to do it in the final. Like, people have been giving out about Shane Walsh all year, saying he hasn't been performing. He's only kicking frees. Well, my God, I think you put that to bed yesterday anyway, that kind of way. And like, Tom Sullivan's going to get an all-star. Tom Sullivan's one of the best cornerbacks in the country, like, that kind of way. And he kicked 9 off him. Now, I know the 4 from play or 5 from play.
Yeah, you didn't hear it. You didn't hear Jack O'Connor after the game. He was saying, like, he basically said that. No, I loved it. Jacko didn't mince his words. It was actually hilarious to listen to him. He was the personification of ignorance. To be honest, he doesn't give a shit. No. But he was basically saying that we just felt that Shane Walsh was kicking outrageous scores, and no one else be able to do a better job at him. Yeah. Simple as that.
And that's
it. He said that, well, let's be honest here. Like, like the scores Shane Walsh was kicking, like any quarterback would be thinking, nah, he's not going to get that. And then you're talking, Jacko said about the two. He said about the two substitutions at half time. He just said, their two boys are struggling, and we have to mix it up. And they changed the game for us.
They did, but they did though. They did.
He also said last point. He also said, he said, look at Jason Foley, question marks being held against him all year. Kept Comer quiet, and let's be honest, if Comer had the same game as Shane Walsh, we would have been in trouble.
He's fucking mad, isn't he? The thing with the Tom Sullivan point is very valid. Like in that Shane Walsh was kicking worldies. Like what were Galway going to do? Take off Sean Kelly? Like, you know what I mean? It's gone to the stage with these boys, with Conor Callahan and them two boys. I said this to you a few weeks ago. In my opinion, they're the three best, right? It's damage limitation is all you're at. Like all you're at here is trying to keep these boys to 4 points. Now 4 from play, obviously. That's all you can do, and that's it. The halftime changes were brilliant. Gainey, I called it after 10 minutes. The fella was sitting with there. Gainey was gone. I knew he was gone. He hadn't played well all year. He hasn't been good in and out of the team. He was dropped for the Limerick game or dropped for the Cork game. Yeah, the Cork game he was dropped for. And hasn't been brilliant. And 2 poor misses early on. But then he won a great ball. But I called that before halftime. I thought he was gone beyond at halftime. I didn't think it was the day to look at him. I think they had to make a call there.
And like what just his movement, I to be honest, David, I thought Kerry looked so nervous. The weight of expectation really showed in the first half in terms of, and that comes like in terms of like their prime possession, they're winning it, like they're just their execution, they're just all over the shop and just forcing it a small bit. And hold on one second, there's a few comments here now. Oh man. First one of the day, Shane 01, 2 bluffers. Thanks, Shane. Jesus Christ, first comment of the day. Will you go easy on us, for fuck's sake? Mikey K, I think Galway missed their chance. Their main man, Shane Walsh, will never have a better game for Galway. Absolute super game, football. If only we had more games like this. I totally agree with that. Valid, Jack Boyle, Galway bench lacked quality. Yeah, we're going to get onto that. Top players missing from Galway this year, such as Sean McCarron, Peter Cook, Ian Burke, would have made a massive difference. I think PJ has a bit to answer for that.
Yeah.
Galway were set up perfectly in defence. Would love to see Cian O'Neill back in Kildare in a coaching capacity. Must be the best number 2 in the country at the minute. I don't know what David thinks about that.
Brilliant. Look, his record as a coach.
Don't be diplomatic here now. Come on, fucking say what you're thinking here now.
Get off the fence.
Don't be a bollocks.
I've been very, very complimentary all year, as you well know, of Cian O'Neill and his. It
probably be a joke aside though. Probably didn't work out as well as he would like to with Kildare.
I'd say he's probably a better coach than he is a manager. And what's wrong with that? We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and it looks to me where Cian has gone as a coach, he has more success than his manager. So there's your answer, really.
Yeah, Billy O'Toole. Will Galway beat Mayo next year with 2 full teams? That's fucking.
Yes, I'd say so. Yeah, you mightn't like that, but I'd say they will. If they keep progressing, I think they keep progressing here. This is a good side, very, very young side, really young, really talented side. And if they keep the management and keep everything in place, I think they will. Yeah,
they'll have to find 3 or 4 new players, Davy. In my head.
Yeah, the bench, they're light, aren't they? They're just light. They're just a little bit.
Nothing.
Light
there. They're nothing.
No, they haven't all year.
Yeah, and look at the cream came to the top, even with Kerry's, even the weight of expectation on their shoulders. They still came through.
A big thing for me is about the distribution of like quality across it, right? Kerry had 9 scorers and Galway had 5. Like that's some difference. Like it's nearly double. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just not enough, is it? It's just not enough.
But sure, Kerry's their whole forward line scored from play.
Yeah,
Galway, Shane Walsh scored. Like you're talking the biggest. We're talking obviously last Thursday about the likes of Comer, Rob Finnerty, Tierney. To me, they all had probably 5 out of 10 games.
Yeah, max. Yeah.
So that's the major thing. Like, to be honest with you, I was maybe like Comer. Now I was talking to. You were obviously looking. I wasn't at the game, but I couldn't get, like, was Comer out of position, or was he playing deeper? Or like in the first half, literally I could not see him on the television screen.
No, they played up. No. So Galway played 12 behind the ball, and they left Finnerty, Walsh, and Comer up top. Right, they left Finnerty closest to goal, and then Walsh and Comer rotated the outlet. Right, they rotated the outlet. One, I'll go this time, you go next time. Right, and Foley just was big enough, strong enough, and powerful enough just to manhandle him. And then Morley obviously was protecting him at times. And he just could not get on the ball. I don't know when the first time he touched the ball. I don't even know what time it was at.
I don't think I didn't see him touching the ball in the first half.
Yeah.
That's no word of lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought he was injured. I couldn't. He was. Now, look at, I suppose with Ty Morley as the +1, you're relying on the men out the field, like getting to the ball. But
it's the strange with Tierney, right? Tierney had zero influence on the game at all, right? And I asked you the question last week about, does the 11, when you drop off, the 6 drops off, does that give the 11 the freedom in the park? And Tierney had zero influence in the game. It contributed, in my opinion, very little to the game. And how? Why? Surely he should be able to get in the pockets there to cause Kerry problems. Surely, like.
Yeah, they needed, especially them 3 players. They needed Finnerty to pop up with a couple of scores. They needed Comer to be his usual influential self, and they needed Tierney to, more primary ball possession, because Conroy ran out of gas.
Yeah.
2 Kerry midfielders were very athletic. They ran him into the ground, and he was gone after 56 minutes. They even put him into the full forward line.
Jack Barry's a lot more athletic than I thought.
He's fit, man. He is fit.
Yeah, Jesus, he's fit. He's strong. He won a great mark as well. Tell you, I can see why he's such a good spoiler. He's a beast of a man. He is strong as an ox. Oh God,
and he caught some ball, did he? He caught some ball.
He did. I was very impressed with him, because you get this term as a spoiler, and you get this term as sure he can't play football at all. He just stops Brian Fenton every year. Sure, as well as I know, nobody stops the likes of that man without having serious quality yourself, And I was very, very impressed with him yesterday. One other lad on it. Adrian Spillane was brilliant when he came on. I thought he was immense now at midfield when he came on yesterday. I think he went a long way to turning the game for Kerry. I thought he was excellent. He got on so much ball. He was controlled. He was positive. He got forward. He was flushing through the lines. I thought he was good now. I thought he was very, very good, I have to say.
Yeah, again, like himself and Killian as well. Like the bench, David, it's just as we were saying before, the last 10 years, especially the last 10 years, what have teams had to win the All-Ireland? They've had seriously strong benches. And Kerry brought on 4 really, really experienced lads that would make probably most county teams, to be honest with you, in the country. Did they bring? I think they brought on Joe O'Connor maybe over the last couple of minutes, but definitely Paul Murphy, Deuce Bland, and Micheál Burns, and they're missing Darren Moynihan as well. He obviously got injured for that.
I think,
Did he? Yeah. So that's a nightmare. Like, Jesus Christ, like. But
some bench, in fairness to and Killian wasn't brilliant. I thought he was lively against Dublin when he came on. Just end product wasn't great. Whereas yesterday he was lively and end product. He was good yesterday. He was good yesterday.
Yeah.
He made and as an inside forward, some days it goes for you, some days it doesn't. Look at Cormier and just didn't go from Geaney, didn't go from Killian Spillane, went from and there's no difference in it. It's just some days a setup, a tactical setup. All this different stuff can just suit a fella more than another lad, and that's just on the day, I think.
Well, it's just with the likes of Comer, you're if you're not getting a touch of the ball like that, that's on your mind, and then when you get your first touch, you're trying to do something more with it than you really should. Forcing it, correct. So look at in fairness, Killian, first shot he had was wild enough, but he obviously he regrouped and just getting on the ball, winning primary possession and kicked a couple of scores, vital scores, and with 66 minutes gone or 65 minutes gone, it was obviously the major talking point of the game. Now, in saying that, PJ was going mad about the free. He didn't say anything about Gleeson's black card, which was a blatant black card. It was the definition of a black card. So if Gleeson walked there, Galway were in serious bother, because what would they have done there?
Well, they see, this is the thing. They're not going to waste a sub, or maybe Galway would have wasted a sub because maybe they didn't have the depth. They didn't need the 5 subs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, but I know most managers won't waste a sub, so you'll probably put an outfielder in goals and wait for the 10 minutes. That's generally what you'll do, you know.
Yeah. But that would have been a serious blow for Galway there. So that, I don't know what minute that was. Probably was that 60 or mid 50s that happened.
Late 50s, I think, maybe. Yeah.
So like that was a serious what you call it, a lucky bounce for Galway there. But what did you think of the personally? I thought, just looking at today, I thought the refs are copping onto it. If Daly. Why did Daly have a hold of Killian Spillane hand? That's, if there's not, like, if you're trying to shove a guy off, which is usually the natural reaction is you're literally pushing him off. All right. You don't, if you're not, holding the guy's hand, to me, you're trying to draw the free. So, referees have been pulling for that all day. Now, Killian Spillane did have his left hand on Daly's back for a split second. And if you know yourself, the rule book is if you have the hand on the back, it's a free. So there's both ways. Now, technically, Killian Spillane had the left hand on his back first, and then Daly brought in his hand. But it's so bloody subjective.
I think you're being harsh, though. Let's be honest. That's a free out all day long, and every ref in the country gives it. I don't know. Did Herson
a free out? A free in or a free out?
Out. Like, you see that situation. Yeah, every day you see that situation, and every ref will blow a hand up, right? Come on, play away here, lads. You know, that kind of way. Like, why does Daly want to foul Spillane, right? But he doesn't, clearly. He wants to get out. Spillane wants to slow it up, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that free is given all day long. I give them every night in training myself. Moving on, lads. You know, that kind of way. Like, so I think it was a stonewall free out, and should have been. I think Herson got caught up a little bit in it there. I think, did he want to make a big call?
Consistency. Like the Derry lad in the semi-final, was it?
Brendan Cawley left that one, and he ran Brendan through. Cawley. It was not McFall. It was it Glass? No.
No, it doesn't matter. It was one of the McCluskey, maybe. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But why? Okay, why is I'm going to play devil's advocate. Why is Daly bringing in his hand there?
Yeah, no, he shouldn't. Yeah, it is stupid. It is stupid. But Daly did the wrong thing, 100%. But I still think it was a free out. And having watched plenty of football, they're given 9 times out of 10 that free is given out there. And the biggest moment, the ref chose to give that free against them. Oh, fuck, it was costly now. It was very, very costly. Very, very costly. Like, ultimately, there was draw game, wasn't it?
It was a draw game, 66 minutes. 66 minutes gone. Comer gets the turnover. Then Comer gets the turnover, and then hand pass back to Daly. And then obviously the free happened. But I suppose what you're saying, what we're both saying here, Davey, is we wouldn't mind just consistency. As in, if they're going to keep doing that there, if they're bringing the hand, well, then the referees have to call it every time. Not this fucking 50-50. That's a complete 50-50. Like,
making numbers go along.
There.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And that's the frustrating part for players and managers and coaches, because consistency, you don't know what the fuck the interpretation of the rule is going to be.
Yeah, and especially you could even see Keane and PG after the final whistle. You could see Keane pointing over. He was like, "What, that fucking free?"
Yeah. It was a huge swinger, wasn't it? It was a huge swinger.
It was massive. Yeah, I still don't think Galway had it in the legs though. In terms of the, I still think Kerry would have got it over the line. But in fairness, Clifford again, like, massive pressure free, and it was a tight angle, man, and he just.
And I think he was pushed back. He was obviously trying to cheat a yard or two, and the line pushed him back, did he? So, in fairness...
He was about 5 metres from the sideline.
Yeah, it's some free, isn't it? It's some free, like...
On the 13. On the 13, like. And he whips it, like. Yeah, it's just...
do you know one thing I will say about... pick up a point you said there. Galway's conditioning, I would wonder that they flagged badly. I thought Galway could see it, right? I was talking about Stephen O'Brien to the fella I was with, and I thought he was exceptional. Now I thought he was absolutely exceptional, right? The work rate of the man, and I thought he was on for man of the match after about 55 minutes or so, and then he got taken off a minute later, and your man goes, "It shows what you know." He got taken off, right? And I said, it actually shows what you know, because that's his job to be taken off, because he should be legless. Like, he was legless now, like he could not walk, having done that horrible outside two roll for 56 minutes, right? And but Kerry, are introducing Michal Burns there. They're introducing quality, whereas Galway didn't have that quality to produce. And I thought they looked leggy now. Conroy completely gassed out. I thought they looked leggy now on the bigger Croke Park. And maybe is that, and I know I'm not being hypocritical here, but is that the Division 1 conditioning that they're not facing every week? Is that, do you know what I'm saying? Like, the level of base level conditioning, or was it just a case that they didn't have any legs to come in?
They just played the best. I suppose Galway didn't. Look, Galway haven't played the best two teams in the country all year. Like, Dublin and Kerry are the two best teams in the country, in my opinion. Dublin would have bet Galway yesterday as well. So, like, the players, the athletes are just as in fitter and stronger and more durable. Simple as that. And obviously, looking against Derry and Armagh, they wouldn't be up to that level, Davy. I don't think, like, the midfielders and middle third, it was possibly a slower. Is that a fair comment? The Armagh and Derry games are slower games.
Yeah,
it won't be as frenetic.
No. Again, they're not at the same level. That's the thing. You're operating at, like, again, I like to get back to my previous point. And it's the first time I've seen Jack Barry up that close in person. Like, mother of God, he's a beast. Like, that kind of way, like, right? And that level of conditioning it takes years to develop that. Years. And the likes of Matty Tierney, Rob Finnerty, these boys, they're not there yet. They're not. You can see McDade is there. He's there because he went to Australia, and he's an engine. But you can see the younger Galway boys just aren't at that high level, like, top elite level conditioning yet. But now this will only do them the world of good. This will bring them on the world of good. Like, but I don't know if you agree with that or not. Maybe that's just something.
I just think, look at it. It depends on the Mayo appointment next year. But I fancy, to be honest, like, especially with the forwards missing. Like, we're getting into next year's championship. My God, but I just think Galway might have missed their chance unless Galway have 3 or 4 new players. Like, Conroy is 34. They're going to have to replace him with someone. He's come to the end of the road.
Is he 34?
He is, yeah. He's 34. Like, so. Same with Dave Moran. Like, Dave Moran is 34. Like, when you're getting up to that age, like, and Croker is unforgiven. It's no place to hide out there. You are going to get scutched and burned if you don't have the legs. And at that age, it's fucking hard enough to get out of the bed. The mind just go around Croke Park. Like, who? Like, I just can't see it in the bed. Like, the players, the comments mentioned here, like, in terms of Peter Cook and Ian Burke has walked away, and Enda Varley has walked away. Owen Kern has walked away. Now, Mulkern's obviously got injured. Yeah. But unless he's developing the lads, in the squad, or like, I don't know about their league as in who he was. Was he trying out a lot of fellas here? But like that during the winter here now, unless PJ finds 3 or 4 lads, like, they're not going to bridge that gap. Obviously, look at they're well good enough. Get to quarter and semi-finals, but if they don't, to get to Northern Ireland final again, Dublin, Kerry, it's not going to change here. So it's just. And
let's be honest, they had a soft draw. Like, they got Armagh and Derry. Like, at the end of the day, so they had a soft draw. They beat a Mayo team who was without. No, they had Ryan O'Donoghue that day, didn't they? Yeah, no, they did have Ryan O'Donoghue that day. Yeah. Like, still a Mayo team that was you could see they were at the end of the road under the current.
The end of their life cycle,
Yeah, you can see that, like, So let's be honest, Galway did get a soft route the whole way through. And again, I had been on about the Ulster Championship and the quality of it, and I didn't think it was brilliant this year. And then the probably point was proven when Galway dismissed both of them and like beat them well. I know Armagh was taking the penalties, but they still beat them well, 6 or 7 points up at full time. And then Kerry, in my opinion, dismissed Galway a little bit. It was never in doubt, was it? Did you ever think Galway were going to win from about 40 minutes onwards? I thought Kerry, I didn't think it was ever in doubt.
Yeah, like I was probably, I suppose the first half I was kind of thinking to myself, is the expectation getting to Kerry boys here? Yeah. That was the only thing that was I felt they definitely had a better, like they're winning enough primary ball. Execution was off, and obviously they tidied that. Look, Jack got them in at half time and set them down and just tidied a few things up here, and just the second half they were mushing their execution. They only had, was it 1 wide or 2 wides in the second half? Then I'm not too sure, but their execution was, they were trying to force it a lot now in the first half. Now they did in the first 10 minutes. They just launched ball in, and again, like, I don't think people are giving Clifford enough credit. When Kerry needed to score in the first 15 minutes, he stood up.
But he called that ball, Enda. He put the hand up and called that ball. I seen him, like, they were under the cosh. It was 2-0. Was it 2-0? It was 2-0 at this stage. And he called it, and they needed that now. And Graham O'Sullivan as well, he's going under the radar, but he was exceptional yesterday. He was exceptional. I see you smiling there. Is there someone nailing us?
There's a few lads here commenting away. Hold on. Some Mikey K, some Galway supporters are very unhappy about the ref. They think that he cost them the match.
Nah.
Come on.
Look, I said it to you. I think it was a terrible call. I think it was a free out all day long.
But do you think that call? Do you think Galway would have if that? Well, who knows? Like Galway could have went up the other side of the pitch and got a score, and then they would really put the clusters on Kerry.
Yes, and absolutely, it did cost them a little bit, but I never felt Kerry were going to lose the game after about 40 minutes. It's just something I was never that worried that Kerry would lose, to be honest with you.
Okay, Mickey K again said Galway needed a bigger man in Clifford. I think they had 4 men on him, to be honest.
Yeah, but where do you just get this bigger man from? Like, you know what I mean? Where does they like look at them, like, please, like, you know what I mean?
Who's over 6 foot on the guy? Malloy's 6 foot, maybe.
Yeah.
Daly's 6 foot. There's no one over 6'1", 6 foot, is there? No. Sean Kelly's small enough. He's 6'1", maybe.
Yeah, but lads, I honestly don't think anyone would have caught the ball like off him. Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think so. The ball in was brilliant. Graham O'Sullivan's diagonal, it was right in front of me. His diagonal ball in was class.
Who was that? Who was that, Davy?
Graham O'Sullivan's diagonal ball in was class.
Oh yeah. Class. Yeah.
And you know what he kind of got away with yesterday? You know the way this is, everyone thinks, right, the weaker cornerback. So you talk about Tom Sullivan, you talk about Jason Foley, and then you have Graham O'Sullivan, no one knows anything about him. Right, he's the weaker, we'll give him the ball if you have to do, that kind of way what teams do.
Yeah.
He's a baller. In 2018, he was sent back in the Kerry 20s and played against us, and Jesus, he's well out. He's a seriously balanced, lovely footballer. He
really stepped up yesterday, didn't he? Like, what did you think of the matchups in terms of? I thought Liam Silk did a great job on Paddy Clifford. I thought obviously Foley on Comer did a massive job. Obviously the two Clifford and Shane Walsh just did their own thing. Yeah. And then who else was there? Jacqueline was on for Galway. Was he
Shawnee.
On?
Was it Shawnee?
Was he on? No. Was Liam Silk on Shawnee? No. Hold on.
I think Silk. Well, hang on, let me remember this. Was Silk on?
No, Liam Silk was. No, was it Liam Silk on Paddy?
Yes, and Jack Glynn on Shawnee. That's what it was. Was. Yeah, and Glynn done well.
Shawnee had a poor final for his standards now.
Yeah, 100%. He did. Yeah, 100% he did. His influence was nullified, and again, Jack Glynn's only 22, I'd say. If you go through that Galway team, Galway particularly, and you take Conway out of it, right, and you take who else there? Johnny Heaney probably out of it, right? They're only a crowd of chaps, like, really, aren't they? Like, that's
Johnny Heaney's only 28, lads.
Oh, is he? Right. But he's still, the rest of them are early 20s, or what would Walsh and Comer be around the same? Would they? 27?
No, they're 29. They're 29.
Right, okay. Right,
yeah. They're 29. Like, they still have 2 or 3 really good years in them, like, but...
Yeah, 100%, yeah. But still a young enough team now.
I know how these, like, in terms of... I know myself, we'll say, when we got to the All-Ireland in 11, we got to a semi-final and Kerry clipped us well. And then Keane O'Neill came in 12 and got to us an All-Ireland final. And then 13, like, James is always, the squad was always transitioning. Do you know what I mean? As in, there was always lads coming in and putting pressure on the boys there, like, and freshening things up. Because if you don't have that, you're wasting your time. And I'm just, like, PJ has to manage this right now in the next 6-7 months. Like, he has to... I don't know what's going on with it. Like, Enda Burke is a bloody former All-Star here. Like, can you afford to be kind of? I don't know what the situation there is.
It's personality clashes. Is it? It's personality. I'd say, is it? It has to be.
Well, that's what you call management.
But sometimes, I know.
Well, like, I can't imagine Enda Burke. I know this. Like, I'm not that far. Like, Enda Burke isn't a disruptive influence here. Like, he's not a head the ball here. Like, he's not a header. Like, he gets on with his, like, he's obviously won 3-4 on club titles with Kerfin. Like, he's with a serious club. Yeah. So, as you said, personality clash. I just, maybe it's his own decision in terms of work commitments or whatever else.
There's too many of them. Too many of them. You know, there's too many lads up to now. And you know, it's not good. Like, getting back to the Tyrone crack earlier in the year, all of them lads retired together for their own reasons. Did they? Fucked. Like, let's be honest about it. You know that kind of, they retired for a reason. Like, you know that kind of, squad for a reason.
Yeah, 100%. And, like, you know, even this year with Tyrone, with the 6 lads walking away, like, it just said you know, something is wrong here.
Yes.
After
paint it whatever way you want. Paint it whatever way you want, but it's wrong. Something is wrong.
But are we given, like, PG? This is his year 3. Like, if Keane, I would hazard a guess here, if Keane didn't come in this year, like, Keane probably papered over a lot of cracks here now. In terms of. In terms of coaching, and in terms of, you know, personality, like, I don't know, like that's why I have my doubts here, Davy, in terms of, can Galway kick on here again? No, look, don't get me wrong here. I could be completely wrong. I think it's great for football in terms of we've had probably the best championship in terms of competitiveness for the last 10 years, and it's been brilliant.
But you know what else, Enda, right? Everyone now, if you're a Division 1 team now, or very top of Division 2, right? You think you have a chance again. Everyone thinks they have a chance now, because I don't think, this is why I'm interested to get your take on this. I don't think this Kerry team is going to form a dynasty here, or I don't think they're going to kick on here and win 4 or 5 in a row here. That's not what I don't think they're as good as everyone did. They're a good side, really good side and all that, but I'm not sure there's 2 or 3 or 4 in a row here. I don't know what you think.
Well, it's just I put it like this: Dublin in their pomp never relied so heavily on one player. You take Clifford out of that team, like, you know, like Jack O'Connor must have been on his hands and knees for the last 2 weeks praying Clifford does not get injured here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you sit out there. You sit out there. Don't need you.
And there's a fine line, obviously. Look, you have to get the match practice into his legs. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happened. That's what happened with the Irish rugby team back in 07. They were minding, Eddie O'Sullivan was minding the 4 or 5. You know, putting, you know, holding them in cotton wool, like. But, like, I just don't think, in terms of, like, Dublin back in their pomp, to go 6 All-Irelands, or to even go 3 or 4, you have to be an exceptional squad to go there. And, like, I don't know what's the life cycle of Jack, like, as in, well, his other turns. Do he stay 3 years?
Yeah, he'll definitely do 3. He'll definitely do 3. Like, sure, his first year was a dream, 6 months, dream, I'd say. Like, you know, that kind of way. Won the league, won the championship. Jeez, he's won everything. Like he'll definitely do another 2 years, and you can be guaranteed he'll pick up another All-Ireland in them 3 years. You know, that kind of way. But I'm just not sure it'll be back to back, or they'll put together a run. Now, I could be wrong. But my point on it is, if you're in you know, the Dublin camp, if you're in the Tyrone camp, the Armagh camp, the Donegal camp, if you're in all them camps, the Derry camp, you think you have a chance now. Mayo, sorry.
Jesus, David, come on.
I took me a while to get there, didn't it? Jesus, it's been a long day, Enda. So if you're in any of them camps, right, you think you have a chance now. You think you have a chance, like, you know, and it gets lads back, because I think, whereas, let's be honest, the last 6 years, 7 years, you didn't have a chance. No one really had a chance. They were just on a different level than everybody else. So now I don't think this team is as good as that Dublin team, and I think the championship is wide open. Yes, Kerry are the best team, no problem. But one knock to David Clifford, or one, you know, and then it's wide open again. And like, Galway probably aren't the second best team in the country. Like, we know that. Dublin are, you know. So Galway fell into the final with a soft-ish draw, but I still rate that Galway side as a good, strong,
100%.
competitive side, you know. But they probably fell into the final a little bit through the soft side. But you're like, you make your own luck, you know, yourself.
Yeah, 100%. But interesting enough, I think I was just listening to Shane's podcast, or, you know, the thing they had in Pucan in Galway before the final, and James Moynihan just made an interesting point where he said that you know, if they lost to Dublin, there'd be a lot of question marks as in where to go from here, because there isn't, like, they've had their 5 minor titles, and all them boys are through here now, and there isn't 4 or 5 other lads knocking down the door here to get onto this team. So, like, you know, as you said there, it'll be interesting in terms of how many All-Irelands can they get out of this for the next 2 or 3 years. Max it out here, because, you know, and even you saw the crowds. It's just all on the RT News there, like the homecoming, and it's very, like, I haven't seen, like, the Kerry crowds to greet them. Like, this is the big one for them. Like, they're hurting seeing Dublin doing the 6 in a row, taking their record. It pissed them off. And like, you know, there was a massive turnout for them. But I would agree with you in terms of, I just don't think they have the same caliber of player that Dublin, their pomp had.
Or depth, I'd say, which is what you're saying, because when Moran goes, right, Paul Murphy is a good age too, I'd say. You know, when they all start to go, I don't know.
Gainey, Murphy, Moran, them three boys are like, I'll put it like this, JV, in the 2017 All-Ireland final, I'm going back to Mayo here again, of course, but Dublin, Dublin bring on Jim McConnelly and Kevin Mack at halftime. Like, ridiculous carry on. So, like, I know obviously Kerry's bench, you know, we complimented it, but it's still not that standard. Do you know what I mean? That's just,
it's an extremely experienced bench. It's an extremely experienced and game management and, you know, football and decisions. It's a brilliant bench for that. Whereas for pace and, you know, scoring forwards, it's not there. You know, like, it's not that's not that type of bench. No, and Brosnan and Savage haven't really done it. Really.
No, they haven't. No, I'd have hopes for. Savage is a decent player. For Brosnan, he shows well for Crokes.
He's a good player now. I've seen him. I'll give you one of him. We played him in Sigerson there in the quarterfinal of Sigerson this year with Maynooth down in Tralee. Oh, Jesus. Stacked. Darren Moynihan, Jack Savage, Tony Brosnan, Mike Breen. Please now, right? And they just murdered us down there. But we were a young side, but good young side. But we were young. Like, it was like playing a under-21 championship with a group of 19-year-olds. You know, that kind of, like, right? Jesus, Tony Brosnan was exceptional. He was the pace, the power, just bursting by lads. Do you know who does it? Paddy Small does it. He's the closest thing I've ever seen that. You know that standing start? And then just boom, they burst by a man, and it was like, oh fuck it. So Brosnan's the real deal, but he hasn't done it yet at the top level yet. He will come, but he hasn't.
What age? He's only young yet, so he's only 22, 23, is he?
Well, I'm not sure, was he a bogey or not, or was he on a Masters, or what was he on? I don't know what he was on now. But, I don't think he was a legit minor now. Put it that way, like, you know what I mean, like.
Okay, a few comments. Justin, Galway looked lost when Kerry changed up at half time. Fair enough. Billy says, with Spillane gone, boys, have you put into your CV? RTE? We'll have to get the tissue. Connor, thoughts on O'Rourke to Meath, possibly missing Sherlock Monaghan. I didn't hear the Sherlock one. You heard the Sherlock one?
Yeah, I heard both of them. Yeah, well, Meath's announced, isn't it? I think O'Rourke's announced.
Yeah. O'Rourke's announced. Is Sherlock gone to Monaghan?
It's not announced, but I've heard very strong. Yeah, very, very good word on that. Yeah.
Wow.
It just
okay.
very, very. Look, I don't know, but has Sherlock done any managing other than the bit with Dublin? Has he a bit of coaching with Dublin? No, it's a punt, isn't it? It's and what he's going in there based on the Dublin stuff, obviously. What was his contribution to that? I don't know. I know they rate Brian Cullen very highly. They rate Jim Gavin very highly. Declan Darcy's rated very highly.
Darcy.
Yeah, you never hear too much about J.O. or Mick Deegan or these boys. I never really heard too much about them, people coming out. So I don't know. And I think, was there a personality clash with Desi or something? Is that what happened there or something? No?
I think there's talks of Sherlock and Gavin having a bit of a personality clash as well.
Yeah. Well, I think with Gavin, it's very much, you know your place. Yeah. There's not much room for.
I hear he's great managers with the management with the players though.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Yeah. But I tell you one thing though. I tell you one thing about him. You look at that Dublin team, right? There wasn't a peep out of them for 6 or 7 years. Not a peep. And imagine the egos now in that dressing room. Like, must have been mental. Like any dressing room, right? Mental egos in them. And
he deserves. Any man that have Philly in a dressing room and keep things together. He deserves. He deserves the ultimate compliment.
He kept all them together and in check. And about the week he left, sure, there was free taking competitions or schools. There was it was rows and club games. There was stuff that was never happening under Gavin's watch was just happening then all of a sudden because the discipline was gone, the leader was gone, that kind of way. Like, and that's the biggest compliment for me for Jim Gavin is how he kept them all in check, kept Dermot Connolly on the bench. Like, how done Jesus do you keep Kevin McMenamin and Dermot Connolly happy on the bench? That kind of way. Like,
Yeah, well, don't look at Davy. You keep them happy because they're bloody winning and they're on a historic run here. That's look at Jim was lucky in some games where did he start Owen O'Gara in 1 hour on the final ahead of Jim Connolly?
Yeah,
like that's a massive. If that game went against him, that would be. But once you're winning, as you know yourself, everything gets brushed under the carpet, 100%. Under the rug. You're the best ever. That's it. So there's just hold on now. O'Rourke to Meath. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Like, look, it seems to be the model. A lot of county boards are going with the ex-player now, and rightly or wrongly, that seems to be what they're going for. Look, a brilliant Meath man, brilliant footballer. Obviously managed Simonstown for a long time. I think he's international rules experience as well, management-wise. He'll need a good coach, I'd say. He's going to need a very, very strong modern-day coach, I think, because he's obviously a good bit out of the game and that kind of stuff. So I think he's going to need a good coach for him.
In fairness to him, you have to give him credit. He could stay in the RT studio, fucking criticize, cushy job, criticize what you want. Dublin are still very strong. Meath are very low ebb here.
Yeah. There's only one way though, Enda. There's only one way. There's only one way they can go.
Yeah. There has to be better footballers in Meath, and not. But it must be the confidence or.
The camp had just gone. The camp had just gone. He'd stayed 1 year too long. That's all it was. He stayed a year too long. Camp has gone shut. Yeah. Not that dissimilar to your own camp at home. In fairness, 1 year too long, probably gone stale, gone and move on time. That kind of. And regardless, there's nothing you can do when you're in that situation. You are fucked. There's nothing you can do. It's see the year out. And
unless you're winning.
Yeah, but you're not there. You're not there a year too long if you're winning. Do you know what I'm saying? You like.
Yeah, sorry. I'm saying in terms of, if Horn bet if they won the All-Ireland against Tyrone, it's a different dynamic then.
It's different then. For fuck's course it is.
He could stay there for 10 years.
But sure, if you couldn't win the All-Ireland against Tyrone, and I think you're in trouble for a while.
Fucking hell, on a Monday.
No soft landing today.
I still think it's a serious squad there, Mayo. Whoever comes in here will piggyback on Horn's good work for the last 4 years. I know Horn has got slated maybe this year, but like whoever comes in there, Horn has developed a very nice squad, 25 players. Like Mayo have 5 lads come off the bench here, more than Galway. And it was still a point game in that Galway game with Mayo at a very low ebb after the Kerry debacle at the league final. So like I still think that's why, you know, I just be very interested to see what happens next year with the two, especially in Connacht, to be an absolute dinger.
Definitely good enough to win the Chicago Senior Championship anyway. That seems to be what they're at. I'm not sure. Go on.
Here's some. John Waldron, do need more players to balance out Clifford. If we lost him, would really need Gainey to rediscover his form and get 10 years younger.
He won't.
He's getting old, and Sean to take the whole attack on his shoulders.
It's not there. If that team loses Clifford, lads, they fall right back into the pack. I'm telling you, right back into the pack. But like, why would they lose? Right back in.
Well, it's just injuries. If you know, it depends. Like he's picked up an odd.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Hold on, Justin. Galway were too clean against David Clifford. They closed out party, but Clifford just dropped back deeper. Too clean against Clifford. What are you advocating here?
You have to be careful. Like you have to be careful because he's watched. Like everyone is watching him. You know what I mean? Do you think teams haven't tried to take him on physically before? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, he's a big boy too. He's a big boy. I bet Justin, he put you back in your box, and hold on now. John Waldron is nigh unmarkable. I think we both agree there. Galway were useless. That's a bit harsh. That's very harsh, in fact.
No, they weren't useless at all. They were very good.
Kieran Vahey, it's a shame we did not have Peter Cook. Huge loss, and other lads. I was wondering from the start of the year where he was, but he's gone abroad, and the 1 year we reached the All-Ireland final, unfortunately. Without Walsh, they would have been laughed off the field. But sure, you could say the same thing about Clifford here. Without Walsh and Clifford, you know, it would have been definitely the standard would have dropped a bit.
Yeah, 100%.
No mention of only 2 scoring. I don't know what's he saying there. No mention of only 2 scoring forwards. I don't know what's he saying there. Patrick McNamara. What else? Anything else from the game, Davey, you can think of?
I kind of covered most of it there. It was an enthralling game. I loved every minute of it. Real tactical affair. It was great to see the old school diagonal ball working again and still working. You know, there's a place for it.
What? Yeah, there. Yeah. What you think of the kickouts? We talked a lot about it on Thursday. How do you think it went?
I think they done well. I think both teams were. I have it here actually in front of me. 1 second. What was it? Galway retained. Let me see here. Galway retained 79% of their own, right, and lost obviously 20% then. And Kerry retained 86%. So in fairness, you're retaining 80% of your own ball. You're doing all right. Like, and they were contested. There was no conceding the kickouts other than when Kerry went in front near the end. They dropped everyone inside the half. But other than that, every kick-out was contested, and it was hugely intriguing. What it looked to me like what Galway were doing was they left 65 to 65 free, a lot of like empty, wide open now, right? And Gavin White and these boys were cutting diagonals through it for their kick-out, right? But then Malloy, and they were trying to tempt Ryan in there, to kick it in there. That's what they were trying to tempt to do. And then Malloy and them boys were breaking flat out to drive the ball back forward into their forward line. I thought it was a good tactic, and got a little bit of joy. Ryan probably didn't use it as much as they would have liked, but I thought it was clever from Galway now.
Now, to Galway, I thought Galway could have gone for a bit more, definitely the last 10 minutes here. You know, when they went a point down, I would have just pushed everyone up and just went for the jugular. Yeah. But I would have just, fuck it, let's go for it here.
They must have thought we'll stay in the game. It's work, because in fairness, it was point for point for a long way. For a long way it was, you know. So they probably thought they had enough, and they didn't want to risk reward job, as I always say. You know, you squeeze up, you're done over the top, game over. You know, that kind of way. Like, and that's the concern there. But you know, I probably agree with you. They didn't go after it hard enough, particularly in the last 7-8 minutes. I don't remember any huge big 14-man press or big squeeze at any stage. Yeah, I don't remember that at any stage. Yeah, and that's disappointing, isn't it?
I just thought, I thought they were a bit conservative on the kick out. Now, look, I suppose they're always conscious of the Kerry full forward line, especially Clifford here and Paddy Clifford. But yeah, I just thought I was a bit surprised. Maybe I just thought. Now, look, I suppose with the game being so tight, you're still only a point or two in it to go with that aggressive. They're obviously afraid of conceding the other end, but. Fuck it, I just thought, they might just go for it here.
You know what? In fairness to Shane Ryan, his kickouts have improved. He's better now.
Massively.
His kickouts have improved. I was impressed with him now. In fairness to the fella, he
was way more composed. Way more composed than he was years pre. Like he's a goalie is confident when he's only taken 3 steps back and he's surveying the landscape. Where can you ping it here too? And he's not afraid compared to Gleeson. He's not afraid. Like he's very confident dinking it over the first defender. He no problem or going to the top of the D, which is the most high risk kick out. Yeah. And it takes balls here now, especially even the last we say 10 minutes. Kerry still showed savage composure, like just holding the ball and just waiting for the Galway press, and then they obviously went on their way here, but. Was the massive? It was just the turnovers the last 10 minutes, Davy. Kerry got them on the counter attack and just sealed it, didn't they? It's just Galway. Galway just couldn't. Just the turnovers that killed them. Definitely, there was probably 3 turnovers in the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, bad ones. Couple of bad ones too that just really hurt them. Really, really hurt them. One other thing on the Galway kick out that was very interesting. They clearly targeted Sean Kelly off Clifford, because like any genius full forward, and I've had this chat with you before, sometimes you just don't like working that much, or you don't like, so they clearly targeted Kelly to cut back off Clifford, and he done it a rake of times, and he only got on probably 3 or 4 of them, but he clearly was a tactic, and most clubs are counting, the lazy full forward will get one away to his man, that kind of way, like usually.
I couldn't see it now and tell you, David, what was he doing? So was he cutting to the D? What was he doing there?
Yeah, so they were coming out, and then he'd cut to 2 or 4. So they were walking out the middle.
2 or 4, okay.
He'd be cutting then left or right. So he'd kind of get a separation from Clifford, and Clifford make a half-arse attempt to go with him and just stop him, let him off there. We've all seen it done before, like,
Yeah. Clifford literally won't go past his 45. It's actually hilarious. He just points the finger.
Back to what you used to be doing.
I wasn't scoring 8-9 points a game. That was the only difference there.
You would have been getting the shepherd's hook. He wouldn't. That's the
difference. Jack is hugging that man every time he comes off the pitch. Hold on. Shep. Billy says, "Who's your all-star team, lads?" Oh Christ, that's we'll be here all night.
We pick a few, like a couple of all-stars. Obviously Shane Walsh is guaranteed one now. Clifford is guaranteed one now. Paddy's guaranteed one.
Comer is Comer still guaranteed, lads?
I think Comer's after playing himself out of the picture. He did not touch the ball. Did he have his hand on the ball 5 times or 10 times yesterday? I honestly,
I'd say 6 max, 6, 7.
So no, I think Comer's in trouble. I think he's in a bit of trouble for an all-star now. Where does he fit in?
Who would you go midfield?
Oh well, I think that's
McDade, obviously.
McDade's nailed on. Nailed on. And then let's think. Connor Glass will be in the picture. Semi-finalist, he'll be in the picture.
Yeah,
he will.
Yeah. So no one from Kerry, No one from Kerry midfield.
But Barry didn't play enough, right? Dermot O'Connor moved to wing forward, and Moran came off. No Kerry man there. No.
So they'll have to give Derry. They'll have to give Connor was very good now.
Connor Glass will get it. Connor Glass and Killian McDade will be the midfield pairing, you'd imagine. Then you have there's 3 boys nailed on up top, the 2 Cliffords and Shane Walsh. Derry. Derry ending up there? No. McGuigan didn't do enough, did he? Didn't do enough for an all-star, I don't think. No. Who's in the other semi then? Galway? Dublin? No. Kilkenny gets an All-Star every year. Just he's the only one with a chance in Dublin's forward line. Only one with a chance.
He get an All-Star.
So that's five. That's five, and then the other one.
Jesus, who?
I'll be Kerry, obviously. Kerry. Shawnee will get one.
Shawnee, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
There's your six forwards. There's your six forwards nailed on, and the two midfielders we've discussed. Yeah, well, I'd say Tom Sullivan's going to get one. Jason Foley's probably going to get one.
Chrissy McKay.
Yeah, Chrissy's going to get one. Chrissy's getting one, and then it's two of the three Kerry fullbacks. So you're getting either Jason Foley and Tom Sullivan, or you're getting Graham Sullivan and it's two of the three.
Tom could get done here now for Shane Walsh.
Yeah,
which is a pity. Like.
Yeah, it is. But I think they're getting. They're going to get two. They're going to get two of the three. They're definitely getting two of the three. Kerry, definitely getting two.
Yeah, and then the half back line.
Although McCluskey's a small outside chance. It's small. He done brilliantly on Walsh, brilliantly all year. He's an outside. I don't think he'll get it though, but he's an outside chance. Half back line then. Is John Daly going to get 6? He probably is he?
Jesus, don't know about James McCarthy. The RT one was they didn't give it to Tom. Who was it? They gave James McCarthy 5. I don't know if you agree with that. He only had one. He didn't play. Yeah, you can't give it to James for one game.
He was exceptional against Kerry, though, wasn't he?
Fuck it though, jeez, the year, not one game.
I know, but it's 2 games. That's all they care about. This crap.
What about our man, Rian O'Neill? They had Rian O'Neill. They had Rian O'Neill midfield on RC.
Yeah, look, bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah. No, McDade and Glass are getting the midfield. I can't see how they won't get it. They have to get it. They have to. Then half back line, right? McCarthy will get one purely based on the crack, the politics of it all. McCarthy will get one. I think John Daly's definitely in a show. Definitely in with a show. Has to be sure.
I think so too. I think so too.
And then who's your last?
Sorry. What would Tyke Marley? Daly?
Oh fuck yeah! Jesus Christ! I wasn't prepared for this question, so there's a lot of possibilities.
We probably have 12 out of the 50, 13. Tyke Marley will probably get 6.
He will.
Okay, you know what? I'd probably give John Daly at 7 or 5. He deserves it, like.
He does.
John, to get done out of it. He's been excellent. Yeah. And who's the other 5 for Kerry? Who's the wing backs for Kerry? Gavin White.
Gavin White, he'll get one, will he?
He will, yeah. Jeez, I'd love to know what he did to himself before in the semi-final.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to know what he's done the last 2 weeks.
I'd say
there was no expense spared, and
I'd say he was in the ice bath.
I'd say he lived in the cryo.
Oh, stop. Fucking pain in the hole, but anyway. Shep, why couldn't Galway score for 17 minutes? It's called Crow Park and being tired.
And we just discussed it. They had 5 scorers, Kerry had 9. They've won. Yeah. We would have said they had 2 top class forwards going into it, but a top class forward should not be held as poorly as Comer was. Do you know that kind of way? Like you can have your off days, you can have that, but Jesus, Comer was too quiet for that. Like too quiet.
Yeah, big time. John Waldron, the mark got Kerry a good few scores, but feel it would be better if it was for just overhead fielding catches and not catches into the chest.
I agree with him. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Catch a ball, you get a 21-yard tap over the ball. Like, what are we doing? You know what else we're doing? You know what else we're doing, though, Enda? We're taking goals out of the game. We're taking goals because the pop, people are putting a fucking hand up instead of looking for the pop or the offload. You know that kind of way? Like, it's.
There was some debate too on Twitter about the hand pass over the bar that shouldn't be allowed anymore. Just fucking go for goal and that's it. What's your thinking on that?
I'd be into game management now myself. I like to keep the scoreboards moving if we can. So, I'm all right on that front.
Go for the juggler. Galway only scored 2 points from the 47th minute until the 75th minute. That's almost 30 minutes for F's sake. Yeah, that's a bench. You need a bench, lads.
Bench.
Yeah, he picked a fine feckin' day to have an off day, didn't he, Comer?
People underestimating how good Jason Foley is too now. You know, that kind of way. He's a quality player, like quality player. And they know that they can see the one goal all year, like one goal in the whole league and championship, and it was Cormac Costello.
There was actually no goal chance given up yesterday, apart from Johnny Heaney. Yes. Johnny Heaney was a half goal chance.
It was on. That was a goal. Oh, geez,
it was a series. Well, it's still a serious block by Stephen O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Brien made 2 monster blocks. Honestly, he was on for man of the match. I thought the legs obviously gave out on him, but after 55 minutes, but he was phenomenal. I thought Stephen O'Brien. Now he never would have got it, but in my opinion, I thought he was Kerry's not most influential, but maybe most important because he was just doing all the stuff that no one else seen. But Galway needed that goal. They needed that goal. It was their only time they got inside, and it was a brilliant diagonal ball. Took the whole defence out. I was right in line with it, and Heaney should have finished it. I know it was a good block. Fuck, he should have finished it.
So to sum it up, basically, are we saying, I suppose, the Kerry supporting cast supported Clifford more than the Galway supporting cast did. The lack 100%. Of bench.
Yeah.
Lack of bench. And
a little bit conditioning. I think a little bit that top level elite fitness that the Galway young boys mightn't just have yet. And just so I'm clear, that's not on the. I don't believe that's on the SSC culture. Do you know what I mean? Like do you know what I'm saying to you? Like I'm not here picking at the SSC culture or the coaches or the management. I just think you can't do anything about that. It just takes years and years and years to get that level of condition into your lungs, you know?
Look at it. You'll see it in the likes of Clifford, like he's there 4 years now, and you can see it takes usually to be a right senior, it's 22 years of age. That's when you can see the real body development in terms of you've become a man here. You're still like 19, 20 years of age, you know, as you said there, it does take 2 or 3 years of just getting the hours in the gym. That's what it is.
We'd first-hand experience of it. In 2018, I had Jimmy Hyland full forward for Kildare in the 20s, right? Brilliant. Now, 110 every day. Phenomenal. He was untouchable. And obviously, he was in the senior squad, but it's only really this year that Jimmy came to the fore 4 years later. He's 24. You know what I mean? So you're 100% right. It's 23, 24 years of age before you're a real senior. Unless you're David, you're a freak, which is 1 in 100.
Yeah, Jimmy now would be smaller in stature, and like Clifford is fucking 6'2", 6'3", and you might have exception. Like I remember obviously Enda Varley coming into the Mayo setup. He was a beast, and Michael Murphy at the time came in at Donegal. Just natural animals, just the physique.
Like I was talking to someone today about they were saying, Tyrone will be back next year, Rory Canavan and all them 20s. I said, lads, go handy, will you? Rory Canavan is gifted. And they were, sure, he's his father's son. I said, lads, go easy now. He is an exceptional talent, but he's still in school, and I think he's under 20 again next year. That fella is not ready for senior football. Like, he is not ready for senior football, and he will be, you know, I don't think he should be out there. He's not ready for it. I don't think.
Well, he's not. He's not going to be a game changer. Not a game changer, but he's not going to be the main man. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not going to get. He's going to be a kind of supporting a role player. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he's not. As you said there, it's going to take him 2-3 years to. If he becomes the main man, it's going to take him 2 or 3 years to really see his full potential here.
Yeah.
But not, as you said, 100% agree with you. Yeah. Last thing here, what do you think of Galway's gamesmanship of slowing down games by claiming head injuries? Was blatantly obvious against Mayo, winding down the black card clock. This should be stopped.
Yeah, it should be. Look, lad, everyone in the country is doing it. Club level, county level, it's a joke, but we all do it. Every team does it in the country. It's called game management, and you can dress it up any way you like. Every team in the country does it, and it needs to be stopped. They need to do something about it. But the way to do it is do away with the stupid black card anyway. Do away with it. Yeah, I think it should be gone away with. It's a nonsense rule, and then there's no stoppages, and then you give out yellow cards or play away, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then I do agree with you to a certain extent, David. But then you're getting the bullshit of people
pulling lads down.
Blatant, for goal chances. That's what really pisses me off.
Yes,
you have to Yeah, well, that and I, to be honest, I don't really mind the mark, to be honest with you, because I had 3 or 4 3 or 4 lads hanging out of me, and you'd win a primary possession, and then you'd have, as you see, Santa's little helpers all around the main marker, and then he'd dispossess you and he'd be in your face, and you're just there. You have fucking 2 or 3 helpers here, you wanker.
But it's ruining. I think the black card's ruining games. I don't know. Do we need to? And the interpretation of it, the consistency of it, it's bullshit. Like literally, one ref today, a high tackle now is a black card, whereas I was always, it was a pull down. That's what I thought it was.
But sure, the definition of a black card. The definition of a black card was the last day.
Yeah, Gleason.
Yeah. The definition of black card was the last day, and then you had the other fucking like the free against Daly, like, so you're getting both. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
frustrating. No, it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. I do agree with you. They'll have to look at it, but they'll have to do something about this time wasted. As you said, teams are copping out, and in fairness, it's just good bloody like if you're good management, 100%. You're trying to win the bloody game here, and you're at a serious disadvantage with a player off, so you're going to waste as much time as possible. So 100%. That's it, 100%. But anyway, I think we're done, are we?
Yeah,
I'm up at 6 o'clock with the kids, lads.
All good. Enda, go on. Talk to you.
Yeah, cheers. Man,
cheers.
Good chat.
See you.
Bye.